Alright guys, the following content is definitely going to be a cringe fest for a lot of you woodworkers out there for a couple of reasons. One, I definitely could do a little bit better on my safety and proper use of some of these tools when it comes to handling and safety precautions and all that. I never claimed to be a person that's really good with working with wood, so by all means, do not use my methods, but you will see by the end of this series that no matter my methods, of which they are poor, the results turn out to be very good. So even though I have poor woodworking skills, I don't do too bad on making a 40-foot friggin' deck either. So enjoy the content, guys. So I was getting all this stuff taken out, and I honestly forgot that I was not recording. So I'm sorry that some of this footage is not going to be here because I really get my head into a project and I completely forget that I'm being filmed. So I wanted to share with you my organizations that I do in making sure I know where everything goes when I put it back together. So as you can see, I've got the transformer, all the cabinet wiring removed, and here it is on the floor. So I keep all my leaf switches taped together like this because sometimes these things can just fall completely apart, and then I'll label them accordingly. So this is my right flipper side right here. So I know that goes to the right side of the cabinet, and here's like left flipper, start button, little stuff like that. That way I'm aware of where these leaf switches go to what side of the cabinet. Kind of helps out, makes things a lot easier. So there that is. The breakdown continues. I've got all the wiring and everything removed from the back box, and move on down here. I'm ready to remove the AC power along with the plug, and then the coin door is ready to be removed. Once I've removed the grounding strap from it, then that can be removed, and then essentially this cabinet will be empty. Alright, the cabinet is all gutted out. I typically do all my organization using these really large, like, I forgot what size these are, gallon-sized Ziploc bags. And I try to keep everything from a certain area of the cabinet or play field in one bag. That way I know for sure where that stuff is at. So I've got like multiple bags for different areas of the cabinet, and you can either label them, like put tape on the bag itself and then write down where that area is at. That's up to you. But I think we're about ready to take the head off this bad boy. Time for decapitation. Once I find the right tool for the job. Anytime I'm taking out a bolt and a nut, I put the nut back on the bolt. That way I know that these bolts go with these nuts.
These nuts?
Less likely for me to lose. There it is. Decapitated. We'll start getting this cabinet all shot backed out now. Alright, so side rails can be a major pain.
Sensitive.
Whenever you want to remove these things without damaging them or the cabinet. I'm really actually kind of dreading this. I think that Williams is even more difficult to remove than Data East. I kind of wish they would just, you know, do the whole nail thing and be done with it kind of thing. But it looks cleaner this way. So we're going to be removing this because you have essentially a long strip of double-sided adhesive tape, the real thick squishy kind, all the way down here. So I've removed the screw and bolt. It holds both ends down, so now it's being held strictly with the adhesive. I'm going to take a scraper like so, and I'm going to heat it extremely hot with my heat gun. Use that to scrape and like cut through like a hot iron through all the adhesive all the way up, so that way I don't damage my side rails by bending them, because these are good. These are actually pretty solid. Can be cleaned up, polished out, maybe even chromed. We'll see where things go. So let's get started. It was at this moment where I really understood how good of a conductor stainless steel is when it comes to heat. Woo! And that's what you gotta look for whenever you're removing this stuff, because that thing is incredibly hot right now. I'm gonna leave it there actually. We'll let that side rail cool down. I might be able to grab it. Whew. Yeah, it's a little warm. Definitely would not want to catch that. But you know what? Didn't have to pry it off and bend it. Still usable. Woo!
You better not move. Ow.
Daddy's about to get savvy with woodworking.
Okay, which is fine. Is there a reason why the door's open?
And now it's time to cut the vent holes for the back of the back box. Here I have my MDF, and behind this MDF is more MDF. I have it clamped down this way because if I am to drill through it, I could bust through it, and I don't want that. I want it to be a clean, smooth edge. In order to do that, I'm going to be using these drill bits. The size I'm going to be using is a 1.5. Alright, so I'm basically just replicating what the old is compared to the new. So what I've done here is just taken the measurements from this side, which is 6 inches, over to this side, which is also 6 inches. So got the 6 inches measured on this side. This side, it's a 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the board to the support border right here. So we're doing 3/4 of an inch from down here as well. I've got my positions all marked off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue and clamp this thing down in place. So, just to give you an idea of how well I did on the replication process, here it is stacked on top of the original. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. So I pretty much am good to go on both of my sides. That knocks out both of these. Just got to replicate top and bottom, and then once I have all of the sides replicated, then comes the really interesting part that I'm a little nervous about, and that's the routing portion of it. So, and I'm gonna go buy some more birch, and I'm not too happy about that either because it's not cheap. Alright, so this is what we're dealing with. I have got these sides, basically the entire back box has been cut. We have our length and width and thickness of the boards matching to the originals. The only thing we got to do now is route her out around the areas all through and all the way down here like this, and all the way on this side accordingly. So this is going to require some precision, of which I have none. So we're going to be using some test boards or some test pieces from earlier from other pieces of birch, so I can get the correct, thickness and all that kind of stuff down before I actually utilize my pieces that I know are good. So let's get this router and everything set up. All right, so I think I have got the depth and everything done correctly on my routing table. I've essentially just done one little test segment right here, but I want to say I've got it done the right way. But I'm not going to go directly into my knowing good piece right here. I'm going to continue up here, because it's basically, this is 3/4 in, and this is a 1/2 inch in, because this is the back box area where the backboard is that I've got right here, because this is only 1/2 inch and everything else is 3/4 inch. So I'm going to do a single run like this on this top portion up here and see how well it matches up. But I think I've got it pinned down, so let's see if we can do it. So now we compare between new versus the old. So let's take some measurements and see how we did. This is a 3/8 depth, and this is not. So need to go deeper. That's what she said. Alright, so we have got 3/8 depth, matching what the original was. Alright, so now that we've got the depth, and I believe I don't have to worry about, let me make sure. Yep, still 3/4, so That hasn't been messed up. Okay. Okay. I think we're ready. I think we're ready. Oh, I'm so nervous. All right, here we have it. Oh, it's the buildings of a back box. Now, granted, I don't have anything glued or permanent. This is all basically just kind of held together in the positions at which this back box was meant to be held together. There still are little minor adjustments that I need to make, like I need to route a little bit more on this top edge so this can be squeezed in some more because I'm a little off. So I gotta do just a hair, like a 1/16 or so on each side of this to make it even, so that way I've got 17 1/4 going right here and 17 1/4 going down across this way. So that, other than that, my up to down is perfect. I'm very proud of myself actually on this. I was expecting it a lot worse. Something else that I realized I messed up on after I got to this point was the fact that I should not have routed out this portion. So it's not that bad. I mean, what I'm gonna have to do is either get some wood cut out and glue in that spot, or buy some more wood and recut and route her out again. I think I'm just gonna cut out little pieces of wood and glue them in that spot to fill that hole, and then be able to sand it flat, and no one will be the wiser. Unless they watch this video, and then therefore they will be the wiser. Other than that, it's a back box. Now let's get these minor touches done. What I'm doing now is that I've got to cut the back glass slot that goes all the way down, and I would love to use my routing table, but evidently this routing table can only extend so far to be able to do what I'd like for it to do on how deep this goes. So I'm gonna have to do this another method. I feel like I could still probably rig up something, but I feel like if I can make two, if I can make two passes with this, then I should be okay. I've got to make sure that this is right before I go and do this. I have this fear of cutting the wrong side, and I'm glad I checked. I would have cut the wrong side. Top. That way I don't get that freaking messed up. Alright. We're gonna have to just kind of go and see how it looks, and then I'll probably have to adjust accordingly, but hopefully it's even all the way through and I could just be able to go through. Damn it. I'm hoping that it's deep enough. Thinking it is, but a part of me doesn't think it is. I'm gonna go up a couple of notches here. That's damn close. I think I'm gonna drop it down a little bit now. Right about there. I think right there is fucking perfect. Alright, here we go. I think we're gonna need to go a little deeper. Son of a biscuit. Alright. So now I just need to move over my fence. This is what sucks. getting this just right. All right, let's measure that. Oh my God, 1/4 inch. Perfect. I think the depth is just right too. I'll have to compare to the master, but I think we should be good to go. After looking at the master, I am gonna make this another pass, just a little bit wider. We're talking a little bit. And here's the thing, is that I'm pretty sure that the translite or back glass would slide into this, but it'd probably be really snug and difficult to get in place. So I think by moving it over just a little bit, giving it a little bit more of a shave, will just make it to where it slides in like butter. Alright, so I have got the this portion cut for the translite right here. So this has been replicated where the top of the back box, this is where the back glass slides into. That's going to go right there. These two pieces are going to go here. I've got to router out a hole like this for the lock that locks the back glass in place, so I'm going to have to get that measured and cut. Meanwhile, I'm busy getting the little final touches done, so getting all this replicated that's on the sides here. So I'm going to have these clamped and let this glue dry. And then once all the glue is dry, then I'll start getting this stuff put together. But basically it's getting to where it's almost time to get this thing put together. Alright, so here's where we're at now. I've pretty much got the back box all cut out and done, but now I need to get this portion done. I've kind of measured and drawn out where this cutout needs to be. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch routing bit to get that done, and we'll see how it goes. And I think that will do. Might straighten it out a little bit more right here. That should do. Alright, so I'm working on the side piece for where the back box keyhole is. I essentially got my center hole using a 3/4 inch bit. Started going down until the middle segment started sticking out the other side. Then I worked the other way to make sure I didn't split out the veneer. So, and that worked out really well. Basically what I'm going to do is just kind of router out a circle around this right here, and that should get me good. I'll check the depth on this to make sure I can get it synced up with that, and I think we'll be good. pretty close to perfect. I'll take it. Alright, so here's where I'm at. I've got my sides replicated, my back replicated, my top is replicated. All I gotta do now is replicate this bottom piece, and then the back box will be replicated. Okay, time has come for the gluing process to begin. So, once again, nothing's been glued yet. This is ready to be disassembled. I'm going to glue the main box framing first. And then once I know that I've got my angles and basically my correct dimensions good, then I'll fit the back box to the frame. So I would rather make an adjustment to that back MDF panel than to any of my birch. If my frame is a perfect box, then we should be good to go. So what I'm going to be using to assist in this process are some 90-degree angle clamps. Unfortunately, I was not able to get all of the same brand. Alright, frame is done. We just need to get this portion put on. That was a snug fit. And there she goes. Now I'll take that off, obviously, and glue it, and then let it sit